Hi everyone, Katie here. Welcome back to another scrapbook layout. This time I decided to use this sketch as my inspiration. So I went ahead and started out with this kind of pink lined paper from Jen Hatfield's Hey Hello collection. I also grabbed this foiled vellum with pretty little gold flowers on it. This is a piece I've had forever. It's actually a leftover scrap from another layout. And then I wanted another paper with it, so I got out my Dear Lizzie Stargazer 6x8 paper pad. I am down to very, very, very few pages in this paper pad, but I really liked this cute little one with the blue and pink flowers. It got a little red in there, and then it also has little birds on it. I thought it coordinated well with the rest of the page. So I like the pages I've picked out, and now I'm trying to do that little lines, all those little lined papers that are in the sketch, and I decide to do that with washi tape. I pick out one that has is like a cream with black little confettis, one that is pink, and one that is a sparkly gold. And then on top of those, I layer a blue and a yellow and kind of cream stripe. And I just wanted to give this little line of embellishment just a little bit of oomph to it. It is going to be covered up mostly, but I really like the effect it gives. I like how it turns out, and I really like all the colors together. I think that they coordinate pretty well. So you see I'm kind of layering my two papers on top, and while I really like the Dear Lizzie page, it doesn't stand out as much as I would like it to. So I just take my Distress Oxide and chipped sapphire and ink up the edges a little bit just to give it kind of a defined border, which I really like. I think it then kind of separates the two light colors from each other so that you can still really see all that is on both pages. And I set that down just lightly because I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to nestle all my papers together. And once I find a good spot, I make sure to stick that down. Now on the vellum, I use my clear Tombow tape runner adhesive, and I try to only put adhesive where my photo will be on top of. I have had some vellum in the past where once you put adhesive on it, I mean, it's done. You can see right through it, and it really takes away from what you are making. Thankfully, this is like a much nicer piece. So even though I do make sure to put adhesive where my photo will sit on top, you really can't see my adhesive through this vellum, which is super nice. So I take just another scrap piece of paper that is more in that red color that I see in the birds and the little flowers on my 6x8 paper, and I mat my photo on it. It's just a photo of me walking my little puppy. He's a black dog, so he's really hard to see in this photo, but it was just kind of a sweet moment, I thought. So I wanted to remember it and scrapbook this memory. So now I'm really liking my page so far, and I'm about ready to start thinking about embellishments. And in the sketch, there are two doilies that really add a lot of embellishment to it. I try out a couple doilies, and the only ones that I have right now are these gold ones, which are super pretty, but I don't really like them on the page. So I pull them off, and I get out this Amy Tangerine Picnic in the Park ephemera pack. And there's this little page that looks like it was ripped out of a notebook. I think it's super cute, and it's the perfect little journaling card. So I go ahead and write a little bit about how we were super lucky to have this beautiful day. It was actually in November, and I was wearing shorts, which was crazy. Well, I guess not that crazy. If you live in Kentucky, you know our weather is crazy. but just write a little bit about how we were lucky to have this great weather. I love taking my pup for walks, and this was just a sweet memory. So I kind of like how I tucked that in to the side as extra embellishment, kind of instead of the little doily. And then I am going to use these. They almost look like Polaroid frames. They're also in that Amy Tangerine ephemera pack. Now, I do not use them as photo frames, which is honestly one of my favorite parts about how this layout turns out, is I use these frames as embellishments. I love that I kind of did not adhere to, the mold of you got to use a frame as a frame. I really like to use them as other embellishments, and I think it worked out really nicely on this page. I grabbed this cute little heart tag. It has a little bit of white on it, and my page had enough white that I really wanted this little heart tag for the blue. So I just take some of my Heidi Swapp Color Shine to kind of fill in the white area so that this little heart tag is all blue. And I really like how that turns out. I'm really liking how the layout's coming together, so I need to stick it down. Like I said, I love those little frames, even though they are just used as extra embellishment and not at all as frames. And it made me a little bit sad because those were the only two that were in the ephemera pack. So now, I've used them, they're gone. It's a little bit sad, but there's no point in not using your stuff. I've saved way too much stuff just to have, the perfect layout to use it on. I don't want to use this, I want to save it and stash it away, but there will always be more stuff. There will always be more stuff I want to buy, and I am really happy with how this turned out on my layout. So, moving on, I'm trying to look for a cute title. I have these awesome Heidi Swapp gold puffy stickers that I just love. I got them on super clearance at Michael's, and I'm really trying to use them in everything that I have, but ultimately I thought they would get lost on my layout. So I decide on these black puffy thickers, and I just want to use the word smile because I just think it's a sweet moment. It makes me happy. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to put my title, so I just put the stickers that spelled out smile on this packaging piece. It's clear, so I was able to kind of move my title around and see what it might look like on my layout before I actually stuck it down. This is just making it a little bit easier and nicer, and I like how I did it. I thought it was kind of a clever technique. I ultimately do decide on that top corner, which I think was the most logical place and where it did look best. It kind of keeps a big cluster, like my whole layout, since it's only one photo, is kind of a big cluster in the middle of this page. And now I'm just adding a little bit more embellishment. You see I have that Amy Tangerine Picnic in the Park ephemera at the top, and then I have the cardstock sticker sheet in my hands right now. So I am just using stickers, using ephemera to add to my little clusters. I really like this little rainbow, and usually I don't have a good layout to use a rainbow on. But I thought it worked really nicely on this layout just because I think it's just a sweet little layout with lots of color. So I thought it worked pretty well. And that tiny little camera, I got that from the Picnic in the Park paper. There's a paper of all kinds of multicolored cameras. So I used about half of it just to cut out the cameras. So I've got a whole bunch of these in a bunch of different colors, and I absolutely love it. I keep them all with my ephemera pack because you can use them in so many different ways, and it is awesome. So I try to add just a few more pieces. I don't feel like my layout is quite finished yet, but I make one more little cluster using that bird. I thought the bird was appropriate because there are a few birds in the Dear Lizzie paper underneath. And so I add the little bird, a little sticker that says look, And then I find a nice little sparkly heart sticker to kind of put the whole cluster together. And after this, I wanted to add a little doodly border to the entirety of the page. I think it kind of contains your page and gives it a nice little finished look. And like I said, I just really like how it looks. It's also a pop of black, which plays on the title. And then I try to clean up my space a little bit because I know I want to do some splatters with my color shine, and I don't want to get a whole bunch of splatter marks all over my ephemera set. So I'm cleaning that up to get ready to do the splatter work. And as you can see, I decide to move things around just a little bit, but I like how it turns out. Whenever I do my splattering, I like to cover up my photos. This is just packaging actually from the doilies that I use, and I use this craft mat. I'm sorry, it's not craft mat. It is craft foam that I use as a mat just to kind of catch any excess splatters. But after I do this, I'll be finished with my layout. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!